Welcome to my video lecture series in web development using Vue.js. This is Professor Janice Raymond Tan from the College of Computing and Engineering.
For this video lecture, we will cover the topics about communicating events using Vue.js components. Throughout this video, we will discuss listening to child components events and emitting a value with an event. Listening to child components events. As we develop our blog post component from the previous lesson, some features may require communicating back up to the parent. For example, we may decide to include an accessibility feature to enlarge the text of blog posts while leaving the rest of the page its default size. In the parent, we can support this feature by adding a post font size data property as shown in the given screenshot of code. It can be used in the template to control the font size of all blog posts. In the given example, we use the post font size data property to assign value in the font size property of the style attribute of a given div inside our index.html. So by using the post font size data property of our view instance, we are able to assign the value of the post font size in the style attribute font size property inside the given div. Now let's add a button to enlarge the text right before the content of every post. The problem is this button does not do anything since there is no existing methods in order to listen for user actions. When we click on the button, we need to communicate to the parent that it should enlarge the text of all posts. Fortunately, Vue instances provide custom event system to solve this problem. The parent can choose to listen to any event on the child component with vOn. In our case here, using vOn inside the blog post component, we put an enlarged text custom event. Again, this is a custom event depending on your choice. Just as we would in a native DOM event. Then the child component can emit an event on itself by calling the built-in emit method, passing the name of the event, again that is enlarged dash text, as the parameter of the emit method, and thanks to the v-on enlarged dash text equals to post font size plus equal zero point 0.1 listener, this is the listener, the parent will receive the event and update the post font size value. So that is basically how to listen to child components events by using an emit method which accepts a custom event as your parameter, and you will have to define inside the vOn directive inside your component what will be the custom event to be triggered once the user clicks the button. So here, in our case, we use the click as the event. To illustrate the use of the emit method in order to listen to child components event, consider the given example. In the index.html file, we created a div with the style attribute which manipulates the font size property by assigning the value stored in the post font size data property as defined in our data model. Additionally, a blog post component is used inside the div we created in order to show the details of the posts array of the data model property. So we use here the v4 directive to move through the different elements of the posts array. And for us to make the button of the blog component work and listen to user actions, specifically a click event, we define the vOn directive inside the blog post component as posted in our index.html. In our case, we define enlarged text as the name of the event to be triggered upon listening to the vOn directive. Instead of directly changing the value of the post font size data property, we defined a method named onEnlargeText, which accepts a parameter to be stored in enlarged amount parameter name. So here is our method. The way to pass values here is to define the value as the second parameter of the emit method, which we define in the button of the blog post component here. Upon execution or using your browser's window, you can achieve the same output as the given screenshot. So every blog post component has its own enlarged text button and will modify the font size property of the style attribute of each div every time a user clicks a specific button. So try to run the program by considering the given code. Emitting a value with an event. It's sometimes useful to emit a specific value with an event. For example, we may want the blog post component to be in charge of how much to enlarge the text by. In those cases, we can use the emits method's second parameter to provide this value, and this is the thing we used in the previous example. So we provided here a second parameter inside the emit method, which will be passed in our onEnlarge text method. Then we listen to the event in the parent. We can access the emitted event's value with the $event, or if the event handler is a method just like this one, I think this is much better and much cleaner code. Okay, so just type the name of your method to be defined in the methods of your view instance, just like this one. So then the value will be passed as the first parameter of that method. By doing this, you can achieve the emission of value using an event. In summary, we could say that Vue.js has a feature for listening to child component events by using a built-in emit method. Vue instances provide a custom event system to communicate parent and child components. It's sometimes useful to emit a specific value with an event and will be possible only if you use the emit method's second parameter. For this lesson's activity, create a simple web application using Vue.js that will satisfy the requirements of the given problem in the last part of the lecture notes for week 11 as uploaded in our MS Teams. Use your answer in week 10 as the starting code for this activity. Post the link of your working code in the week 11 channel of our MS Teams using your account created in the given link. That's it for now. Thank you for watching and hope you enjoyed this video. For inquiries, feel free to post your questions in our group chat. In our next video, we will discuss all about forms. Don't forget to visit the links in the references section for more information about this lesson. See you in the next video.